Mr. Beat presents Presidential Elections in American History. The very first presidential election was the only one that took place in 2 different years, lasting from December 15th, 1788 to Saturday, January 10th, 1789. Remember, this was well before the internet, or even the telegraph, and it took days to get information around the country back then. The extremely popular George Washington basically ran unopposed. The only real issue to be decided was who would be chosen as vice president. Under the original electoral college, as stated in the Constitution, each elector could vote for 2 people for president. The top 2 candidates, after adding up all the electoral votes, would be president and vice president. Since George Washington was virtually a shoo-in, the 11 other candidates on the ballot would likely be competing for vice president. At this time, there were no political parties yet, and therefore no conventions. You were either a Federalist, or someone who supported the ratification of the Constitution, or an anti-Federalist, someone who opposed its ratification. The 11 other candidates running for president in 1788 were John Adams, the Federalist from Massachusetts, John Jay, the Federalist from New York, Robert H. Harrison, the Federalist from Maryland, John Rutledge, the Federalist from South Carolina, John Hancock, another Federalist from Massachusetts, George Clinton, an anti-Federalist from New York, Samuel Huntington, a Federalist from Connecticut, John Milton, a Federalist from Georgia, James Armstrong, a Federalist from Georgia, Benjamin Lincoln, another Federalist from Massachusetts, and Edward Telfair, the anti-Federalist from Georgia. John Adams was favored to get second to Washington. Alexander Hamilton did not run, surprisingly, but feared that if John Adams was also the unanimous choice, he would end in a tie with Washington and might even become president, which would be embarrassing for the new electoral system. Therefore, Hamilton talked electors into voting for other candidates. And here are the results. George Washington won, of course, becoming our first president. Washington was the only president in history to win 100% of the electoral votes. That means every single elector voted for him. Washington received 69 electoral votes. John Adams received 34, enough for him to become the first vice president. John Jay came in third, receiving 9, and everyone else received 6 or less. The Federalists clearly dominated with this election, with only 3 anti-Federalist electors winning in the entire country. I'll see you for the next presidential election, buddy.